This is your weekend market recap for Sunday, May 7th, 2023.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at ESP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market recap for Sunday, May 7th, 2023. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. Sorry, I've been a little busy with some family stuff, as most of you guys know. Just let's get into it. So, what do we know coming up, right? The week is CPI, PPI, a lot of little data that's important, but also it's the end of earnings essentially. So keep that in mind. We know going forward at this point, there's no really major earnings to expect. I mean, you have Walmart and Bob on Thursday, Baidu, HD, Target, middle of the week, stuff that's not that important. But you do have CPI and the core and the PPI core on Wednesday and Thursday following. And as of right now, what do we know, right? Like the market is extremely volatile. And volatility leads to what? We talk chop leads to big pops, chop leads to big drops. Now, were you surprised by the Friday's reaction? I mean, I'm not going to lie, I was. Based on what the jobs were, I mean, people are starting to think the Feds are going to be more likely to pivot or cut. Probably not, which is crazy because, again, the jobs number were pretty good, right? Like, think about the actual numbers, pretty much in line. So that looks like higher rates to come. Stagflation, if you look at the expectations for CPI, PPI, they're going back up. So this is what's so hard here, right? Like, what's the market going to do? You don't know for sure. Define your risk. Be thoughtful. Do everything you can to manage your positions. I know a lot of people are doing a lot of different things, and they're trying to be perfect. And this is the goal here, is just survive. This is not easy at all. If you're new to the channel, want to join the Discord room, a link is in the description below. Follow on Twitter. Always posting what we think is relevant, important to the market and everything related. If you're newer to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell. We do lots of lives. And then, again, there's back to basics, educational trading videos. And that trading videos, all that stuff is cataloged better on my website, thetradingagent.com. There's also a daily market review page, real estate, back to basics, home. And for the back to basics page, it starts from more beginner stuff to more advanced. Tons and tons and tons and tons of content. So, let me know how I can help. If you have any questions, please reach out. Let's get into it. Let's go refresh the Fed fund target probabilities for a June hike versus it looking more like a June pause, right? I don't know if there's another hike or cut kind of priced in. I'm assuming at this point it's more of just when is the pivot? And it's looking like the pivot more likely in September. If that's the case, then they're anticipating the market to slow down slowly. However, there's now talk of a ban on short selling. And now, I don't know if most folks remember, when they put a ban on short selling, do you know what people do? They sell. September 2008, it led to the next wave of the market down. In my opinion, they only do that when they are scared absolutely crapless. It's like, again, pivoting. You don't pivot unless the market's in real what? Dire straits, necessity, things are going badly. Again, banks, in my opinion, don't look that good, right? We've talked about pain. Now, again, they've been a little volatile because of everything that's going on, but just keep that in mind. So, as of right now, we'll see. Again, just save the June one because it's going to vacillate as things go on. But as of right now, pause. All right? Bitcoin, chopping. Watch the levels. Not much to say. Oil, we talked about. Down to our levels, held again. Choppy, sloppy, choppy, sloppy. If you want to trade it, go right ahead. If not, again, in my opinion, I think oil is one of those things where long term, yes, I think it has tremendous value because if you're undersupplied, OPEC is going to continue to cut at some point. Because again, I think they want the price to settle in the 80 price, which that's what they want. They can try to manipulate it, and they know what the U.S. SPR needs to be refilled. They literally have a big buyer waiting. So, and we're not producing more, sadly enough, but that's a whole nother topic. Keep an eye on it. Again, I said I think this area, watch the mid-60s, right? We should hold there. But if things get squirrely and the market flips over and gets ugly, this could just be a dead cat bounce into the mid-70s and kapow. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, nat gas, leave it the heck alone. The dollar. We talked about it. Chopping around. Said it could hit here, it could back off, holding support. Keep in mind, I say this every video. I'm not really too concerned about up or down in the dollar. I'm looking for volatility in the dollar because if big up and big downs in the dollar tells you what? People are panicking. Same thing in the bond market. This choppy, tight range doesn't really tell you much. Unfortunately, people want to extrapolate a ton about it. You could argue it's a head and shoulders top. You could argue it's a head and shoulders or a channel. I mean, you could argue a lot of stuff here. But let's just play the game and think about it from the perspective of we don't know. The VIX, up, down, right? We talked about it. Look where it held. Keep an eye on it. And this is hard. Like, you want the VIX ideally to like chop and then go, right? It's playing games. Now, a lot of people think, in their opinion, that, again, bulls think the VIX is going back to 11. Bears look at it from the perspective like, eventually it's going much higher. You've never seen a bear market bottom with the VIX in the 38s. If you want, I can pull it up. If not, you should watch previous videos. Just go look on the weekly or the monthly on the VIX. How many times it got it to 48 plus? We got to 38, y'all. That was the high in October. That is not that bad. VIX, we talked about. Keep an eye on this as well, right? Breaks out, backs up. It's building. The volatility index of the volatility index, right? SPY. Spy. Again, nice bounce here. Again, if you're watching the previous recaps, you're noticing the levels. Boom, we're hitting them. Said watch 404. Think. Now, again, did people go, is this a professional gap? I mean, we've seen a lot of gaps that they look more like chop gaps. But this could be. I mean, you don't know until what? After the fact. Could this be a professional start of a big up move? Or is it one of these gaps where it's like the novice gap trap? Time will tell. Trade around your positions. And if you're not, give yourself time. Remember, check the monthly out. And this is what's interesting. Like the weekly on the, if you look at the weeklies, they don't really look that good on the SPY, right? You got back-to-back hanging mans. Now, 2 back-to-back. I'm trying to think, is that bullish or bearish? Last time you kind of had it, that's what pulled up. I mean, it's tough to know for sure, but let's just call it what it is. Indecision for 2 weeks. Q. Barbecue. Retest the highs. Weekly looks the same. Doji. Chopping. Tough to know, right? But who was leading? Your friend, the fruit. We'll get into the fruit shortly. IWM. Same thing. Lagging. We talked about it needs to break the lows. Gaps up. Chopping in this area. What is it doing? Looks like it's just consolidating. It's lagging. We're talking the Qs are up here. IWM's down here. Evidence-based issue with the market, in my opinion. The DIA. Chopping around. Can't get over the highs from this level in the 30, 340, 344. Again, need more information. Sometimes it's just hard. People are like, what's going to happen for sure? I'm like, if you try to think like that, you're going to struggle in trading. Gold. Now, what has led up? Tech and gold. The action on Friday, to me, in gold, I don't think that's good. You have a failed breakout and a professional gap down. Now, I know the candle's green, so I would argue that you might need more information, but if you are long gold, you better raise your stops. Silver, not so pretty, right? Same kind of thing, makes a new high, I guess not so, about the same, holds the 20-day, right? I would be raising my stops just in case. GDX. Retest the highs, backs up, gaps down, closes high. Again, raise your stops. If you were long this stuff and you're not sure, just raise your damn stops. If it goes higher, cool, not a problem. But if it goes lower, do not sit there, just watch it go. Here's my biggest issue, the GDXJ. Fills the gap. It doesn't look that strong. Junior miners lead, right? Remember, they're the highest leveraged names in the space. Why aren't they leading? If gold's going much higher, the juniors should be getting bought hand over fist by every gold bug out there and every person who's smart, right? Smart money should be absolutely loading. AG, that doesn't really look good. AEM, right? Popping, chopping, making new highs. Is it going to hold? Keep an eye on it. Newmont, this thing has been lagging. Ugly, right? Not even close. Keep an eye on it. PAAS. Retest. Lower highs, not looking so good. AM Dizzle gets a supposed deal with Microsoft. Watch the 20-day. Now, you could argue, is that a novice gap trap and bounce? And we've seen this before. Gaps down, rallies back to fail. In my opinion, that's pretty big volume. It feels pretty distributive, but truth is in the what? Time. Patience. We'll see. Know your levels. I'd obviously be watching the 91 area. If you get over it, probably could go higher. If not, watch for a trap. Watch for it to flop. Keep an eye on it. Micron, as we talked about, a lot of these names look like absolute crap, chopping around, right? Taiwan Semi. Congrats. It's gone nowhere for like weeks. Doesn't really look that good, right? Intel. Pops, chops, flops. Looks like it's lagging. NVIDIA trying to be strong like bull. All right, holding the 20-day. I mean, it was bearish under the 20-day, got back over it. We'll see. I mean, it just feels really choppy. SMH. Oh gosh, I got to redraw it. It got resplit. Oh, yeah, it split, y'all. So I got to redraw everything. 20-day, clearly 50-day. Yeah, sorry. Here's your split. What do you do, right? Is what it is here. Just obviously 20-day and 50-day were important previously, still are. I mean, I could draw you my thinking here as we can do it on the spot, right? We talked about like what? High volume highs, high volume lows, love to retest. Watch this area, needs to get back over to be bullish. As we said, you can see approximately down here, like you need a break below, I don't know, I'd say somewhere in this area. Man, these gaps are old because it got split. But again, kind of ignore a lot of these lines. I'll have to redraw, but this is kind of the thing I'm seeing. Like it just seems to be vacillating. Big head and shoulders pattern. I mean, could it get up to the like 126? Yes, but keep an eye on it. Dobes, lagging, lag. Chop. Apple, earnings. I mean, I'm amazed people are paying 30 times earnings for negative growth. It feels like a novice gap trap. Talked about filling the gap. You've got some resistance up here. Here's another gap. That retest. Is it possible? Again, is Apple a bank? Do you want to own a bank? That's the question, right? We'll see. Amazon. Chopping, slopping, hanging out. 20-day doesn't really look that good. CRM, we've said for about 1,000 videos straight. 200 area matters, right? Seems to be just playing games. GOOG. Chopping. I mean, a lot of this stuff. Meta, starting to get weak. We talked about the novice gap trap and then fail. Is this the novice gap trap and fail? Again, people really think it's going higher. I mean, I see some friends of ours who are like 250, I think. And it's like, well, if it gets there, it gets there. At this point, it looks like it is absolutely not. If it can't rise now, because they got FTC, they got so many issues. Microsoft, gap fill. Talked about it. Keep an eye on it. Here you are. Look to the left when in doubt. There you go. I mean, could you fill this gap? Man, that would be stupid. But anything is possible. NDAQ, laggard. People aren't going to be trading tech stocks in the future. They're going to lose all their momentum, blah, blah, blah. That's why the stock sucks. It's going to go lower. Look for shorts on bounces. MicroStrategy holding up. High and tight. Doesn't look that bad. Netflixer. Here you go. Chopping. I mean, we talked about shorting up here. Lagging. Roblox. Lagging. Tesla. Lagging. Oh, hey, it's up 8 points. Cool. It's just in a choppy trading range. Right? I mean, just call it what it is. You want to get excited about it? Go right ahead. Not going to do it. X, we talked about materials lagging. Yeah, it looks pretty lagadocious. Remember, keep in mind, I think Apple had its dividend on Friday, if I remember, XDiv. So people may have been holding into that. Nucor? Yeah, doesn't look good. Caterpillar should be higher. Chopping. VALE, everybody loves this stock, and it's like, you don't bottom when everyone loves it, but we'll see what happens. Chopping looks like crap. Arrow, this one we talked about, has been sneaky strong, right? Sneaky strong. Looks like it's holding up pretty damn well. Keep an eye on it. Again, this is a name that I'd be looking for when the poop hits the fan and everything settles out. That one would be, in my mind, a very strong stock because it's already strong now. CCJ, waiting for teenager. CF, as we talked about, lay off the ag names. Let them come down. Materials, again, like oil, gas. I mean, all this stuff is going to get sold. But can we get in the 50s? Maybe. Mosaic, I mean, it's all the same thing. Oops, pressed the wrong button. Mosaic, chopping, going nowhere. Doesn't really look that good, right? Keep that in mind. NTR, all these names. I mean, just going through them to go through them. Doesn't look that good, right? Let's get into, AA. Same thing. Like this needed to hold 35. Whew, holding on. Looking for a prayer, right? XLF. Talked about 3250 to 3350. Gaps down, bounces back. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's still lagging, right? But we talked about financials are a nightmare. JP Morgan, congrats if you shorted at 142. Now, this is why you take profits. The more you're up, less you own. You can trade around your position. Moves pretty quick. All right, well, now you can reshort it, in my opinion. Morgan Stanley, I think all these same thing with the financials. Hits range lows, bounces, Goldman Sachs. It's holding up a little better, kind of like JP Morgan, but it is. KRE, we talked about this looking like, is this a bull market when regional banks are just looking like absolute, you know what, not good, right? XBI, we talked about this one holding up, chopping if you wanted to short. What do we say? Don't be surprised if it got up into this range. Look what it did. This feels more novice gapish than professional gap. And again, that's why you have to be careful shorting things near the lows in a bear market, because they can chop around. They can play catch up for like a week, 2 weeks, and that's literally what just happened here. So if you have any questions, please reach out. You know, people talking about the IYT. I like to look at this every once in a while since the weekend. Again, transports are lagging, just chopping. It kind of looks like the XLF, right? Just a matter of when. Housing, holding up at the highs, but making lower highs. Just keep that in mind. Solar. Yeah, you're welcome. If you've shorted this thing near the highs, again, don't be surprised you get a little bounce. ENPH, it's a piece of crap. Like I said, I mean, if you shorted this and you held through earnings and it drops 80 points, are you surprised it might chop around for a week or two until whatever? Unless the market moves big, it could chop. Sedge, same thing, gaps up, giving it back, chopping. I mean, I think in the long term you'll be fine. I mean, could it fill the gap? I don't know. It's tough to say. First Solar, the market rallied. It rallied. But does it really look that good? It looks like a chop top gap, professional gap down. It goes 5 days, red, had one green day. Look at the volume. It's just, it feels like one again. It's just, I don't know what day it says. The next, I think the next $50 is down. I just don't know how long it's going to take to get there. Oil, talked about oversold bounce. Natural gas, for the love of God, leave it the hell alone, especially the UNG, going nowhere. Back at the lows, near 6, probably needs to go lower and then reverse split. I am warning people over and over and over and over and over again, do not buy the UNG until it reverse splits. XOP, lagging, but we talked about, hey, could it bounce down here? Look what it did. It bounces. ExxonMobil, if you shorted this. Zinhite. Up here, congrats. Not surprised. Now, again, this is why, when things move in a straight line move, you got to be slightly careful of counter bounces, right? I think it looks like it's going lower. Occidental. This thing has been lagging hard. I'm not surprised it bounces a little bit. Keep that in mind. PX Dizzle. Remember, they're talking about being bought out by Exxon. Probably not, but who knows? But even though, just keep it on it. Chopping around. EQT. Tough to know for sure. Again, a lot of these names I think are going to chop out. Flex LNG. Man, I am hearing more and more and more rumbles about long-term natural gas will be exported from the United States on a huge level. Congress is buying the stock. Another name that looks pretty damn good. Like bear market, bull market. Let it pull back. It kind of looks like some of the ag names too. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Again, I apologize. I have been slightly busy with family stuff. Not slightly busy, like amazingly consumed by it. Now, I'm not going to get into what is going on. But all I am saying is like it's some of the most important things and people in my life. I'm focused on trying to help them and do some things. And I apologize if you've tried to reach out. I wasn't able to respond immediately. I apologize if you feel like you're missing something. But if you ever have a question, just reach out. Don't hide. I can't read your mind. So just keep that in mind. And next week I'm looking at there's really not much in the Stock Traders Almanac. Bearish Thursday typically. We'll see. Just be thoughtful. Like these moves up get violent moves down. If they start banning short selling, the market will sell off. That's typically how it happens. Again, it's like the pivot. It's like the pre-pivot pivot, right? Like for them to ban short selling, what is that basically alerting the market to? Problems to come. That's damn right. You get it now, okay? So if you have any questions, your thought about a specific stock, say you have real estate questions, and I'm trying to tell people, if you have real estate questions, this is the time to reach out. Because if you don't work with a great agent and you list your house in a market like this and you don't do the little things and know all the little tricks and trades to get people excited about buying your house, if you're listening, or if you're trying to buy a house and you're trying to find a deal and you're working with a generic agent that's your cousin, your uncle, someone you know down the street that doesn't do a lot of deals, doesn't know crap about real estate, like they do they have their license for fun, I'm telling you, it's going to cost you tens, maybe, I don't want to say 100,000, but again, you never know. Again, you can't, it's like, do you want the best lawyer, the best dentist, the best builder? I mean, what do you want to sacrifice your biggest asset to somebody as a friendship versus finding the best person possible? That's where I was saying, reach out. Got any questions? Hit me up. have a great night Sunday. Hope you enjoyed some sports, relaxation. The weather's nice. Whatever you're doing, remember, study. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. You're not going to get better at trading the market by just watching the present moment. You really need to study the past, because if you're not studying the past, you're not going to see how patterns repeat and things just reoccur over and over and over. All right. Talk to you soon. See you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.